Good Monday morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's weather forecast, we are going to be going over what we can expect as we head into Thanksgiving, which we are going to be tracking a snowstorm across parts there of the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, and as well as into New England. So we will be going over those areas. Plus, we will also be going over an Arctic blast that we can expect by the time we head into this weekend. And then we're also going to be going over what we could see as we head into December. So make sure to stay tuned to the end so that way you guys know what to expect even as we head into December by liking, subscribing, and as well as clicking that notification bell, as we will continue to keep you guys updated with the latest on Weather with Sim. And of course, you guys can leave any thing down below as long as it's respectful, so make sure to do that, and I will get to those right after today's weather forecast. But let's first go ahead and start off with what we're going to see the next few days. And as you guys can see, we currently got winter weather advisories in effect for parts there of the northern Great Lakes and as well as parts there in New England. I only expect there to be a couple inches of snowfall because we're not really seeing anything too crazy in those areas. But, we will definitely watch those areas closely. It's especially going to be over here in the higher elevations, though, where we see that, biggest chance for some heavy snowfall, especially along this strip in Utah, this strip in Colorado, and as well as this strip in the Sierra Nevadas. Those will be the three areas to watch the closest today. And, since you guys are in the higher elevations, we could see that potential for a foot. So make sure to use caution if you're going to be driving in the higher elevations out there. Let's now go ahead and talk about the Thanksgiving storm, and we're going to be looking at both the European model and the GFS model just to get a good idea on what to expect with this storm. And starting off with the European model, this does want to show some pretty big, snowfall on the northern side of that system, with even some isolated thunderstorms far down to the south. And those isolated thunderstorms far down to the south could be on the stronger side of things by the time we head into both Wednesday and Thursday of this week, including Thanksgiving. So, we will keep an eye on it closely. Keep in mind, though, that the Colorado State University is not, with the Storm Prediction Center. Colorado State University kind of has its own opinions on, if we're going to see severe weather or not, which it is pointing out a slight risk for severe weather across the Carolinas heading into Georgia. But like I said, though, we'll keep an eye on it, and, it's not really something that we, have to worry about, at least as of right now. But, we'll check in with the Storm Prediction Center during the next few days and see what it thinks by the time we head into Thanksgiving. There is that potential that we could, see a marginal to slight risk of severe weather. So make sure to keep that in mind if you do live across the south and southeast. But like I said, though, guys, the Colorado State University is not the Storm Prediction Center, so we can't guarantee you guys that we're going to see severe weather on Thanksgiving. So all you really need to do is just check the weather frequently just to get good ideas. But other than that, not really looking like anything super, super concerning as of right now. But like I said, we will check in with the Storm Prediction Center the next few days, and we'll, keep an eye on it closely and see if they issue one, and if they do, we will let you guys know. And then after that, the storm system will continue to bring snowfall across parts there in New England. And once again, this is shown by the European model. This is what it thinks will happen as soon as it heads to the northeast from where it brought snow and isolated thunderstorms. So, we'll keep an eye on it closely by the time it gets into New England. Still a little iffy, so, not really looking like super certain right now because, if we look at the GFS model does not show anything like the European model. It only wants to show a little bit of snowfall on Thanksgiving near Pennsylvania with, just widespread shower and rain activity far down to the south. It does show a little bit of snowfall across New England and Maine by the time it heads off the coast, but the European model does not have that low off the coast because if we go back, look at that low is more inland compared to the GFS model. small. Isn't that a pretty huge difference? So, like I said, guys, it is not certain on how exactly the storm will play out. What we need you guys to do is, like I said, you guys need to at least, stay informed about, the weather, so that way we can keep you guys updated with the latest, because, if these models are not agreeing with each other, this makes it really hard to know exactly what's going to happen. But like I said, though, guys, make sure to at least stay informed if you do live really anywhere across this area right here, because, this storm system could still change a little bit by the time we head into Thanksgiving. But from what we know so far, it looks like the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes are going to see more of a rain and snow mix, while New England will see that risk for heavy snowfall, and that's just what I'm seeing as of right now in between both the GFS and the European models. Now, let's go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about this Arctic blast on the 6 to 10 day outlooks issued by the Climate Prediction Center. And anywhere from November 30th all the way to November 4th, we are going to be watching much of the eastern United States for below average temperatures. The area that looks to see the best chance of below average temperatures would be the Midwest, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and parts there, of even the Southeast. So, we will really need to be watching it very closely for these areas, especially. For my opinion, I'm kind of a little more concerned about that cold air that's going to be rolling on down, because we could be seeing temperatures in the negatives up here in the Dakotas into Minnesota. I mean, their average high is pretty low for this time of year, so it doesn't really take much for them to really, see those negatives, especially because this cold air will be able to surge on down, and usually that cold air is the coldest as soon as it starts to surge on in. But, we're talking even more below average temperatures, like I said, across, this entire dark purple color right there that you guys see. So, we will definitely keep an eye on it closely. So, it's kind of, like I said, it's kind of a little uncertain on how exactly everything will play out, but from what we know so far, expect there to be much below average temperatures across much of the east, with above average temperatures and below average precipitation across the west coast, with maybe some below average precipitation even across much of the eastern and central United States. It looks like Texas could be the bullseye for maybe some above average precipitation, but other than that, like I said, I'm not really seeing anything too crazy, at least as of right now, because, I mean, if the Climate Prediction Center is pointing out below average precipitation, that might mean that we might not need to be watching as much, but we still obviously will be watching for more storm systems, guys. I mean, don't regret that part, but definitely be aware that some of these areas shaded in this brown color could definitely see below average precipitation, which means you should probably be watering any plants during the planting season, because I think we still just got a few weeks of that, but it's almost ending as of right now. And then for December, if we look at what we can expect by the time we head into December, this is almost like a La Nina-like pattern, where we see above average temperatures to the south with below average precipitation across much of the southern United States, guys. This is very similar to what we would see with the La Nina, and it also, shows, what we would also expect with the La Nina, which is above average precipitation in the northwest. It does show equal chances across the Ohio Valley, but that's because this jet stream could, shift around a lot, because, we at least know that this jet stream is probably gonna, be on top of the northwest quite a bit, but, it could be like this, or it could be like this. There will be times where it dips south and north, and that's probably why they're saying equal chances between both above and below average precipitation. But, it still remains uncertain on what we will see in December, but this is, at least an idea that we could, expect in December. So we'll keep an eye on it closely. Let's now go ahead and look at the total rainfall, and as you guys can see across much of the East Coast, we are going to be watching for some above average precipitation, at least during the next few days, as once again we will have that storm system pretty much tracking like this. And once again, it's still iffy on if we'll even see snowfall across some of these areas, and whether you guys do or don't, still expect there to at least be some rainfall. And same across the West Coast, or at least depending on your elevation will determine on if you see either rain or snow, but we're mainly looking at just some rain across the coastal areas with some pretty heavy snowfall in the higher elevation, so we will keep an eye on that closely. And then for your total snowfall, like I said, we are definitely expecting there to be quite a bit of snowfall out west. This model is pointing out a couple feet of snowfall across the Utah mountains, couple feet of snowfall across the higher elevations there in Colorado, and as well as a few feet of snowfall across the Sierra Nevada. So that will be one area to watch for. Another area is of course New England. Still a little bit iffy once again on how exactly it will play out, but like I said, I think we at least got enough agreement to where we can at least agree on a snowstorm in the northeast. It's just down here towards the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Mid-Atlantic that is still kind of a question mark as of right now, but we'll keep an eye on it very closely, like I said, and we might even get a little bit of, a rain and snow mix across this area, but, like I said, it's still a little bit iffy on what we will see, so I would probably, at least say be watching closely, like I said. But thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy today's weather forecast. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so that way we can keep you guys updated with the latest on weather with Sim. And of course, if you guys are kind of struggling with the snowfall, like I said, we will continue to keep you guys updated with the latest on all that. Don't forget to leave a like too as well. Those help out more than you know. And of course, leave any questions, comments, or concerns that you guys have down below. You guys can leave anything down below as long as it's respectful. And I hope you guys all have a great Monday, and of course a great Thanksgiving week, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone. Ooh.